This week's theme on the Retirement Quick Tips podcast is home updates that actually add value. Yesterday, I talked about the problem with most remodel projects from a financial perspective, and that is that they are almost always going to cost more than any increase in value to your home. And if you finance those updates with debt, that just makes it pencil out even worse. But earlier this week, I did talk about 5 things that you could do that generally give you a full return, like 100% return on investment. These are like paint, new garage door, new front door. The principal rule of thumb to remember here is anything that increases curb appeal is going to give you a better return on investment. Okay, so today I want to talk about 5 more home updates that give you the best return on investment. But just know that when I say the best, you're still likely to not recoup the full cost. Maybe with the ones I'm going to talk about today, it's closer to like the 80 to 90% range. So, if you spend $10,000 on XYZ update, like fixtures, faucets, switch plates, that kind of stuff, maybe you'll get back, if you spend $10,000, maybe you'll get back $8,000 or $9,000 in terms of increase in your home's value. So you still want to spend wisely, be smart about the updates you make, and make sure that you're going to stay in your home long enough to actually enjoy these things. Okay, so with that in mind, here are a few home improvement projects that will give you a decent ROI. Okay, so the first one I just mentioned, updating fixtures, faucets, switch plates, outlet covers, knobs, pulls on cabinets, lighting fixtures. These are all generally low cost improvements. Now, you can spend $1,000 on a kitchen faucet. It's not hard to do that. But in general, new cabinet pulls, new lighting fixtures, these things are generally not that expensive. It's sort of like the jewelry of your home. And so you want it to match the style of your home, and you want everything to match as well and not have anything that's too trendy. We have some switch plates, like the light switches in our home. Some are bright white and some are off-white. And all of the outlet covers in our house are pretty much this off-white color as well. So it drives me nuts, especially now, because after we remodeled 3 years ago, anywhere where we remodeled and needed new light switches, they're white. And so now we have this weird mix and match, and none of it matches actually. So swapping out the old off-white switches and plates is something that I recently added to my husband's honey-do list. We'll see how long it takes him to do that. But it is a bit of a project because it's a lot of outlets. But it's something that it looks good. It ties together the look of the home and is certain to give a decent return on investment there, just like the fixtures, faucets, everything else. A minor kitchen remodel. Now, you can do a lot to an outdated kitchen with things like painting the cabinets, changing out hardware, replacing older appliances, especially with all the newer, like energy efficient ones. And so a minor kitchen remodel, the average cost is around $26,000, where if you do a major kitchen remodel, the average cost is like $75,000 to $80,000. So really minimal things, very cosmetic updates. But this, a $26,000 average minor kitchen remodel, is going to increase your home's value by $23,000. So you're going to get most of that back that you put into it. So just kind of keep that in mind if you're wanting to update the kitchen or the bathroom or any other major project. A good thing to ask is, what is the least amount of work that I could do? What is the least that I could do here that's going to refresh this space and make it look really good? Another one is, if you have an old house, you might have carpet where you have hardwood floors underneath. Home buyers do not want carpet anymore. So if you have an older home where the carpet might be covering up some hardwood flooring, removing the carpet, restoring the floor, that should actually give you a very decent return on investment as well. And then one that I didn't think about, but now that I read about it and researched it, I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That is power washing your exterior. This can add several $1,000s to the value of your home because it does wonders. It really cleans things up. I hate saying this because I don't want to throw him under the bus, but he usually power washes every year in the spring, and he didn't last year. And I don't blame him. We had a new baby last year. We had a lot going on, but he did this year. And so it was like basically 2 years worth of not, and it was insane. I didn't realize how bad the driveway and our porch and the sidewalk in front of our house, I didn't realize how like dingy it looked until he power washed it. I was like, oh, it's so sparkling. It does wonders for increasing curb appeal. And the same goes for cleaning your gutters, taking care of any deferred maintenance. Those things are not going to look good if you're planning to sell your house. So you want to take care of those before you sell your house, especially if you're planning to sell. But you want to take care of the deferred maintenance anyways, because if you let it go too long, you just have worse and worse problems that end up being even more costly in the end. And then the last one is tidying up landscaping. Interesting story about this. So my parents, they've lived in their house now for about almost 25, maybe like 23, 24 years. I'm pretty sure that, so they have these columns right in front of the front door, and they're really big columns, but in front of those columns are these kind of evergreen spiral trees. I don't know what they're called, but because in the last 20, I'm pretty sure they were planted when the house was built. So they've been growing there for 20 years. Within the last maybe 5 or 6 years, they've grown really tall, but they've also grown really wide. And it was to the point where it was blocking their house, and it was sort of overtaking their entire front door and their curb appeal. And even when you walked up the path to their house, it jutted out into the path. And so you had to walk around it. And so one day, I don't know, it's been bothering me for like 5 years. I'm like, these things are ugly. They don't even look good anymore. And it's blocking half the house. And so I can be kind of blunt sometimes. So I was at my parents' house, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago. And I was like, Dad, this looks hideous. This is completely like blocking your front door. I got to walk around. I don't know, maybe put something tall and skinny in here that doesn't kind of overtake your house. And so I just kind of casually mentioned it, tell him how hideous I thought that it was. And within a couple weeks, I wasn't sure if he was going to take my suggestion to heart or not, but he actually did. And then he texted me a picture a couple weeks later. It was gone. He had them removed, and the house looked night and day difference. It was amazing what removing 2 trees in front of the house that were blocking the house did for the curb appeal of their home. So anyways, tidying up the landscaping, doing some things, looking at your home with kind of an eye towards sale, even if you're not wanting to sell anytime soon, it'll help you invest in the right things that are going to actually give you a good ROI when it comes to making some updates. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Ashley Michike, and this is the Retirement Quick Tips Podcast.